Good morning. Hi. My name is Teresa. We're renovating our 1899 house here in Ireland, in the Republic, in County Laois. And we love this house so much, but we have researched quite a lot about how to protect and how to ensure these old houses stand for another 130 odd years. We are a bit obsessed with the whole history and the walls and making sure this house comes to no more harm. We've discovered through our research that the reason old houses became damp and mouldy and the plaster got wet and fell off was the walls are made out of limestone and a limestone mortar, which originally would never have been covered. You would have seen exposed stone like this in the house. But we all got all very mod and we wanted the smooth walls. So we put modern day plaster on the walls, which trapped all of the air and stopped the walls doing what they were designed to do, which was to constantly breathe. We have stripped off all this modern plaster and all the damp and mold that went with it. There wasn't a lot, but it was a bit. And we are making sure that we build new timber frame structure inside the house with a space that it can breathe up into, as you can see behind me there, the old ceiling. We have opened that up and we have an airflow from floor to roof so that the walls will constantly breathe after we spray foam them. So we will be putting in a breathable backing card into the struts, as you can see, and into the walls and everywhere basically. We are getting a company to do that, and this will mean that nothing, not even those timbers, literally nothing is touching the walls. So in theory, no dry rot, no wet rot, anything can affect them because nothing is touching them. But I'm a little bit on an overkill, so I want to make sure the little bit of dry rot we did find doesn't come back. So I'm currently spraying the walls with what they call Masonry Biocide, on the advice of a surveyor who informed me that I have a plant called cellar fungus, which is the cause of dry rot. And we did come across some dry rot. Most of it we have removed. Some was in the old stairs, some in the old part of the house, and it actually has grown into the new part, which is 50 years old. Now, the new part of the house, possibly it grew from there into the old house, we'll never really know. But I found some up here and I thought I would just show you so that we'll know if you ever want to figure all this stuff out. And I'll also show you the plant and what it looks like in a minute. But I've just realized there's more dry rot here in the windowsill. I'm just going to show you guys. So you can see it's actually literally turns to sawdust, and it is, I'm removing these old pieces of timber that are in here, which I was a little bit concerned about, but are only basically like a leveler for walls because they didn't have levels and such things, and they were going by eye. So you can see there's quite a bit of it. I'm going to remove that right out like I did with this. And this frame here is all coming out. You can see it just crumble away, which I don't want in my lovely new house when we're done. So I'm going to remove all that, and I'm currently spraying. So I have my sprayer here, my knapsack, and I have literally started spraying from up here, all of the walls. These are all done now. The main dry rot area we found was here in the stair area. This roof, this area was completely shut up. The stairs was actually partition walls so that the stairs was hidden in the house. But by doing that, I think it really was a place lovely and dark, you know, lovely and damp, with new plaster, which lovely growth of mold, and created a great spot for this plant to thrive. And you can see by down here when I show you that we have removed all those timbers, replaced them with new supports, and obviously we will replace it with new stairs when it comes. But I did discover that it grew into the new extension. So if you come here, sorry now, you want to be looking at my ugly mug all day. But so this area here, I'll get back a bit. All of this area, this corner, is where the original boards were for holding up, I suppose. That you can see that they're missing. Actually, there's one still there. Let me see. That's a concrete block. So it was across here, a big timber which had dry rot in it. There's still a piece there. Let me see if I can find any of this plant. So we have here basically little straggles of it. Looks like nothing really, doesn't it? Very little. This little sucker is the bane of my life because I'm obsessed with killing him. Because I don't want to go to all these rounds of manually stripping these walls, which we did. And we're downstairs now, as you can see. We have manually stripped all the walls. We have built the studding. We're going to a lot of expense and time and effort for basically this guy is not going to come and kill all my good work. So I'm going to show you what he kind of looks like. I have removed a lot. So this is a piece that I discovered the other day. Bear with me. So I don't know if you can see that there. And it looks like nothing really. It kind of looks like a spider web type plant. Now, when I removed the plaster in this extension, I came across large areas. You can still see, well, I just sprayed a bit, but I'll show you kind of the spread of what it looks like. This fungus can actually grow through concrete. It can grow through plaster. And when I found it, it had grown through the center layer of the plaster, which is crazy. So it's so powerful. But the worst thing is, it actually only feeds on timber. And that's all it wants. But in that process, it's growing through walls and destroying the structure of any timber that we have in the house, which we won't have now because I'm killing it. Happy days. So I'm going to show you another piece down here. So you can see it grew, I don't know where exactly. It grew here on the outside. Then you can kind of follow that dark patches. When I discovered it, it had grown inside of this plaster and was in the middle layer of it, which is quite thin. So it's quite aggressive. It grows 1 to 2.5 meters, I think, for my studies per year. But it literally turns the good hardwood into, as you've seen, sawdust. So I am going to spray this extension. I actually did my shoulder in removing this plaster. It's quite hard. I'm going to try and make sure it's all back. I think it travelled either from the other side of this wall into this side or vice versa. But you'll see in a minute how thick this wall is and how aggressive this plant is. So if you can see here. Sorry about my camera work, I'm not an expert. So the wall is like any old wall. You can see the thickness. That's the wooden doorway, but I'll probably be able to show you better over here the thickness roughly of the walls. So you're talking, and there's more of it. Look at this. So you're talking like any old cottage, super thick walls. And there we have a little straggler, which I didn't even see. So he will be sprayed. And as you can see, there's no timber left except for this lovely old door, which will be taken out when our new doors arrive. You can see also it's progressed into this. I don't know if you can see from the camera. Because of that. So obviously that didn't happen overnight. But I'm like 43 now, and I plan on living for another, as my husband laughs, 60 years. So I don't want this guy traveling around my house and ruining all my husband's very hard stud work. So that's it, guys. Oh, and real quick, just before I go, I'll show you the bottle of Masonry Biocide, which you can order online. Now online it looks huge. This is the bottle. And it comes in different varieties. There's 160 grams in this bottle, which makes 25 litres. And then let me see. So 25 litres, 1 litre covers 2 to 5 square metres. So it should be adequate to cover this house. But I'm still going to make sure every inch is covered. And we have removed all the dry rot, which I just found there a second ago. So best of luck, guys, and I hope this was helpful because it took me quite a bit of research to find out. There's also a product, the same product, but it's actually does harm called dry rot. and that's a different plant. Now I've discovered that, just for anyone that's interested, if you come across this, you need to find out which fungus you have, because dry rot is actually worse than wet rot. It's called the peril of all houses apparently, and that will actually, in that case, if you have it, you have to drill all the walls and inject the biocide into it. I don't know much about it, but just so you know, just make sure and find out which product you have. Both rots look the same, so it takes a bit of work. Best of luck, take care.